Well, it's Saturday the 23rd of April. This is episode 2216 of 301 Permanently Moved.online, a personal podcast 301 seconds in length, written, recorded and edited by me, at thejaymo. I have many bees in my bonnet at all times, and as I finished up today's script, I realised that it rhymes with episode 1922 from 3 years ago, so I guess I'm a good beekeeper. One of those bees is about the way that social media has reshaped our experience and use of the web. The big social stacks disincentivise users from leaving their platforms. User experience has become bent towards maximising dwell time and engagement. We've been trained not to leave the safety of the feed, been encouraged to remain on platform. Twitter users are now more concerned with posting and commenting on things happening on Twitter, rather than sharing links to good things off-platform from the wider web. I've written a lot on my blog about why you should use an RSS reader and start a blog or a newsletter, but less on what happens when you reduce your social media intake. You find out that you need to relearn how to use the internet. It seems silly, but it's true. The web is a place that should be explored. You have to actively engage in the ancient practice of web surfing, rather than waiting for interesting things to wash up on the algorithmically mediated social shoreline. Here's a simple exercise to get you web surfing again. Search for your favourite thing on Wikipedia tonight. From that page, follow a chain of at least 6 hyperlinks. Read or skim each page, but always click the link that is of the most interest to you. Where do you end up? Experiencing the linked and network nature of the World Wide Web is what makes it so special. Or rather, it's the protocol that runs the web that makes it special, the Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It was during one of my own 6+ links deep internet journeys that I came across the proceedings of the November 1987 ACM conference on hypertext, held 2 years before Tim Berners-Lee had even begun work on the web. The digital archives of the ACM, the Association of Computing Machinery, are a treasure trove. Attending a conference on hypertext in 1987 must have felt psychedelic. Presented papers included Comprehending Nonlinear Text, the Role of Discourse Cues and Reading Strategies, Hypertext and Pluralism, the Lineal to Non-Lineal Thinking, and KMS, a distributed hypermedia system for managing knowledge in organizations, which essentially describes a wiki-like system. The paper, Hypertext and Creative Writing, announced the creation of a piece of software called Storyspace, a tool for the creation and reading of hypertext interactive fiction. A serendipitous find. Just the other week, I was reading about how in the early 90s the term interactive fiction was a scissor label. On the one side, you had interactive fiction being used as a generic term to mean any format that allowed for branching exploration or non-linear narratives. Things like Borges's The Garden of Forking Paths, Italo Calvino's The Castle of Crossed Destinies, choose-your-own-adventure gamebooks, and hypertext stories like the kind made with Storyspace, or today with Twine. On the other hand, in the 90s, people felt interactive fiction specifically meant the exploration of non-linear narratives via command prompt using natural language processing, the co-creation of a story space rather than an exploration of it, like in 1975's Colossal Cave Adventure or 1977's Zork. Anyways, interactive fiction as a generic term won out, but there was a period of about 5 years where hypertext fiction was a distinct and separate entity from interactive fiction, or IF, and early internet users fought many battles over the terms. Storyspace was also the tool used by Shelley Jackson to create her important cyber-feminist hypertext work, Patchwork Girl, published by Eastgate Systems in 1995. If you want to see the whole one passage reads, you will have to piece me together yourself. Jackson's Patchwork Girl was hypertext gothic fiction. The female companion for Frankenstein's monster wasn't destroyed as in the novel, but instead finished and completed by Shelley herself. Spelunking the Internet Archive, I found a talk given by Jackson in 1997 to the MIT Communications Forum entitled Stitch Bitch, the Patchwork Girl. She talks in detail about bodies and intellect, about the nature of a person exploring a hypertext structure. You're not where you think you are in hypertext. Everything is there at once, and equally weighted. What sometimes substitutes for a centre is just a switch point, a place from which everything diverges, a Cheshire aftercat. The section on the banished body in cyberspace is worth reading in full. The real body, which we have denied representation, is completely inimical to our wishful thinking about the self. It's one hell of an essay, links in the show notes. Anyways, how did we get here? Get off social media, surf the web. Click on links, embrace hypertext, the 1987 ACM conference, interactive fiction, cyber-feminist Shelley Jackson, and then her 1997 talk given at the MIT forum. I've tried to write this episode like a link binge. In cyberspace, you have to make an active journey through and across content. Social media, in contrast, is a static experience. As I said 3 years ago, manage the way that you travel the internet. Do not let it come to you.